So customizing this background using the photo image, okay, the photo image method, or you call it the photo image function. So I meant to say, how do we change the background image? And I want to address something, guys. Someone was asking me, sir, whatever we are doing, we can also do it in HTML, right? So why are we doing it in tkinter? Okay, so the thing is that I mean, if you are a Python developer, right, and you want to focus on developing like desktop-based applications or something, so you might as well use tkinter, right? And you remember from the beginning of, when we started this GUI programming, we saw other variations of other flavors of GUI application, what do you call it, packages, right, which we can use. So we've seen PyQt as a contender and various varieties of them, right? So we thought of, okay, fine, we stay with tkinter because tkinter is a go-to, like literally every developer uses this. So on that basis, we thought of, fine, we do this. But whatever we are going to do, obviously you can do it using HTML and stuff, but there is literally no, how do I say, it's not logically justifiable, right? As a Python developer, again, you start using HTML and then you have to link back to this and stuff. So we thought, okay, let's use Python for everything. Remember, that was our watchword, right? Python for everything, right? When we started. So we use it for web, we use it for desktop, we use it for everything, okay? So today we're going to see this and we see how we kind of connect to these APIs. At least, even if we didn't complete the project, at least we'll get to this today, okay? And finally, we build this up and that will be like our final product. So this is the M. All right, so without wasting much of our time, let's just see how far we can go. All right, so window D and let's start. So for that, I'm going to create a project as we always do. So we call it now project folder on the desktop. So we call it what do you call it? Weather app. So I have that already, so I'm going to call this weather. Okay, I will leave it only as weather because I have a couple of weather apps here. So once this is done, I need to open this weather app, right? Okay, cool. So I will do a couple of things here now. I'll open a new project. Okay, so I'll say file, open. Now this project, I'm going to open it in this folder called the weather folder. Okay, okay, so this will ask me, do I want to open it in this window or in a new window? Okay, I might as well, I want it in a new window. Fine. Now this is what we'll have, okay, and here literally nothing is there. Now obviously when you're starting a new project or you are switching, it asks you to configure the what? Interpreter. So I'm selecting this, which I've installed some couple of things, my TensorFlow. So after this is done now, I need to add what now? A new file, and that file is called a Python file. So I'll go to right click on this, I say new Python file. All right, so let's call it what? Weather app demo. Okay, weather app demo. Okay, fine. Now it's a Python file, I press enter, no problem. So this is done. So what is it that we're going to do? We'll start with our basic what? In importing all the necessary stuffs. So we say step 1. What do we always do? Import all the necessary libraries. Fine. So obviously we say import what? tkinter. Okay. Now usually I taught you how to import this as alias, right? As what? tk. So we use this as tk, no problem. After this is done, what we do now? We just do what now? We say okay, create our root entry, and we say equals what now? We now say tk instead of saying tkinter. Tk dot what? This is the class. Okay, the tkinter class. Fine. So this is done. Next, what we have to do? We now have to do what now? Maybe set the title. We already know that, right? Root dot what? title. So we're gonna call it what? Weather app. weather weather app. Fine. And next, we have to do what now? Allow it this to be open, right? As long as we are kind of working on it. Okay. We needed it to be open. Okay. So we now say root.main loop. Agreed? Agreed? Fine. So we go there and we say root dot what? Main loop. Fine. All right. So this is done. Control Shift F10. Fine. And this is what we have. Okay. So we maximize, and this is it. Okay. So next, we can literally see that we got the title there. Fine. So let's go and change this weather. Agreed? So we agree that we're going to change the weather, this icon, to be a weather icon. We don't want this feather icon, right? And then we also now have to add the background. So we are going to download two things now, okay? So I needed two things now, one for that and another one for the background. So prior to that, I know definitely I need this. I say root dot what? You know how to add the stuff, right? So the icon is called icon bitmap. Fine. So you can actually add it directly. So we see the effects, okay? When we add it directly and when we say what? When we give it a Boolean value of true, okay? So for that, I will window D and I will come here, okay? I will go to this side. What I need is what? Weather ICO free download, okay? Now it's always good you go for the free ones. Like, let me show you an example. In the first one is proprietary based actually. They will ask you to pay. Say example, I have seen this, okay? Now if I grab this now, let's see. Now this guy is telling me some pin code, some stuff like that. Download ICO, let me see. Wait for 4 seconds. I mean, who has this time to wait, right? So okay, let me see if it's going to download. It's redirecting me at, okay, it downloaded actually, fewweatherclouds.ico. That downloaded. But the one I prefer is this one actually, okay? It's called download 7 whatever, this iconarchive.com. All right? So in this icon archive, what I'm looking for is weather. So let's take something like this. Okay, maybe you wanted this, or maybe because it's night in India. Okay, maybe let's take this, that the sun is setting. Fine. We click on this. And we're going to grab this. This doesn't allow me to wait, right? Fine, from the oxygen team. So this is done. I go to folder, okay? I am interested in this guy, right? So I cut it out. Now go back to my desktop, okay? It is called weather, right? And I'm going to paste it there. Now, the file name is lengthy. So what will I do? I'll just kind of rename it, right? I mean, who wants to take that tension? I mean, right? So you can call it stormy day, whatever. Make it crisp, okay? And don't delete the extension name, guys. Don't delete the ICO. So I can call it app data, okay, .ico. Now you will see another thing that will help you to know whether you are on the right track. Once I minimize this guy, okay, and I get into my working directory, okay? So if you see here, oh, sorry, that's not that one. If you see here in my working directory, did you see this? App data has appeared towards the right, okay? Let me zoom it and see if you can see, okay? So this is what I'm actually talking about. It has appeared towards the right, okay? Sorry, left from my side. Now what I will do, I will just type app, and immediately I start typing, actually it should appear. App data, okay, let it not appear, dot extension name, .ico. Now Control Shift F10, fine. Now it's there, fine. So I can see the weather app, and I have changed that. Now what we did in the previous class was we set this Boolean value to be true, okay, and then okay, fine. So this means like I think this looks like required, okay. I need this whenever I load this, okay, but I don't actually see any effect practically, because we can actually leave this also and that will still work, okay. Now after this is done, what we are interested is in see here, whenever this starts, we want it to have a fixed width and height. Agreed? We want it to have a fixed width and height, yes? So we can introduce another concept now, okay? So let me go here and then show you something. This is done, okay? So before I need the fixed width and height, I would just, okay, leave this guy here and use what now? We want to study up, do what now? On the canvas, right? So we want to use canvas. So let's see what all the parameters we require, or arguments we're going to require when we start using canvas in tkinter. Now you remember the concept of canvas in HTML. Let's see. Canvas is just like a drawing area, and this was introduced in HTML5. So it's like a playground. So if you look at it here, so you see here, what is this canvas actually? Used to draw graphics on the fly, right? Via JavaScript. And you can see a couple of examples, right? So here I say, look at my ID equals that and stuff like that, and then I add this, and I can draw a line. You see here? Get element by ID, and I draw this line spanning from this coordinate to that coordinate, okay? Context or stroke. So I can draw a circle also, right? So circle has to do with what, you know, point starting and ending, and then I use the word the area of that, right? 2 pi, 2.pi, 2, it's actually 2, sorry, this is circumference, right? 2 pi, okay, or whatever. Now this draws some stuff, and that's it, okay? So it's like an area in which you can draw something. So how is it different from what? tkinter, okay? So this canvas in what? tkinter, tkinter, okay? And sorry, and we need an example, okay? So again, on this page, you see here. So it's going to take some arguments. So what are the arguments it will take? It will take, says here, master, this represents the parent window. So we are going to do this now, okay, by passing only what master into it. And the rest has to be what optional values. So what are the optional values? Okay, so optional means what? You don't need it, right? So we have the background color, we have the confine. Okay, this canvas cannot be scrolled outside of the scroll area cursor. We are interested in the height and what? Width. Fine. All right, and you see X scroll, whatever increments this option in the opposite direction, and that's why increment and things like that. So about 13 arguments is going to take, okay, including border, background color, height, and width. That's what we're interested in. So for that, we're going to replicate something like that. We said, okay, fine, I needed this canvas. If I just say canvas, okay, and then inside canvas has to go to my root node, don't know what is, okay. Now it's telling me, okay, fine, this canvas is not there, all right. So that means that I need to use the objects, right, to call it. Fine, I cannot just say canvas. I say tk dot what? Canvas, no problem. So in this case now you can see it, right? Fine. So this, sorry, okay, tk dot canvas, fine. So the canvas first enters into the root, fine. And before I take the width and height, okay, the root actually refers to my master. So let's just position this. You can actually do two things now. You can say pack, because without this you're not gonna see anything. Control Shift F10. Now you see, okay. So what did you see now? Actually, let me uncomment this and let's see what happens here. Control Shift F10. So you see the height. Can you see the effects, right? So by default, I think this height is around 300 by 300. I think so. I am not sure. So you see, okay, it has a default height, right? But we may want to increase this height and width, right? So that's why we now say, okay, fine. In this case, I needed to take my width and height. Let's take background, right? Okay, because if we see here, we know that for sure we can actually pass this background color, and we can also pass border also, right? By default, it is 2. So this has a border of 2, and then there is no color here. So we can actually say background, and then we go to our color palette also. So keep this by this side, and then go back here. I needed what? Color palettes, right? Color picker. Okay, let's choose this color picker. So if I wanted a background, I wanted something like this. It is this value. I'm going to copy it. Okay. So I'll say background equals that guy. Fine. And then border is 2 pixels by default. So you can say border equal what? 3. Fine. And width, let's increase the width now. width maybe equal 800 or something like that. And then we say height equal maybe like 600. Okay, we want the width maybe like 700. Now Control Shift F10. Now if you see, okay, this is what we have. And did you see some border has appeared there actually? Can you see it? So it's making more sense now. Okay, maybe we want our weather app to be this much big, no problem. And if you maximize, you see, okay, some effect is happening. Okay, don't worry, we will see this effect when we start certain buttons. Okay, so for now, maybe we can leave this background color like this. But what we wanted to do is we want to change this background. We want to add a background image. Agreed? Fine. All right, so till here is fine, and we have actually seen this. Okay, now this is done. Let's start adding some stuff. Okay, so for that, maybe we create some frames, and then inside the frame we create some buttons. Okay, so basically, what is it that we are going to build actually? Oh, sorry, let's go back here. I will show you the complete product. So in this, it is like this. Let me run this. So for now, you might be seeing some stuff, some API, some stuff and things like that. But let's say Control Shift F10. Let's run this. So if you watch here, please listen, guys. Let's keep this, and then let's keep the other one also by the side. That is this. Control Shift F10. Okay. Now, if you compare both, you see whatever I've added actually is bigger than whatever is there. So here there is a different weather icon. It's called weather app. Same weather app. Okay. But here there is a different weather icon. Okay. And there is a different, if you look at the background, it looks like a color, right, guys? So if you have this gradient color also, we can use, no doubt. Okay. Instead of an image, you can use a gradient color. But it makes more sense. You know what I mean? Let's say I go to this color. I maximize this. I look for the gradients actually. So I can actually mix the colors. You know what I mean, guys? So I can actually mix this color. Color picker, I think. Sorry, I went to images. But yeah, you can actually mix the color, right? So I wanted the gradient, but it would be very difficult for me to get that combination. Agreed. So because of that, we use an image. So if you watch here, let's maximize this. Did you see it stretches out? Okay. If you maximize, it stretches out. Now minimize, it comes back. Okay. Let's draw. Let's drag and drop. Drag is going. And you see the cloud is also moving with it. It goes and the cloud moves with it. It goes and the cloud moves with it. So till here it's like, okay, it's almost hidden, right? And then you drag, it comes back. Fine. So let's try checking something. I'm in Mysore. Okay, I'll say Mysuru. Okay. Now, once I click on check weather, fine. So you can confirm this. This weather is in Fahrenheit. It says in Mysore city, the condition is light rain, the temperature is 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, let's say I made a mistake. Instead of Mysuru, I'll say Naisuru. Okay. Okay, so once I click on check this, it says, oops, requested information is not available at the moment. Okay, try again later. Fine. So it doesn't know where is Naisuru actually, and you get to know how this prediction is given. And by the way, for this to work, you have to be connected to the internet. Okay, there is nothing offline here. So let me check Mandya, M-A-N-D-Y-A. Okay, so if I click on check weather, it will tell me Mandya, few clouds, temperature is this. Let's check Bangalore. Bangalore, fine. So if I click on that, it says okay, Bengaluru. So though I type Bangalore, can you imagine? Though I type Bangalore, it says it's Bengaluru. Okay, guys. So let's go to Nigeria then. I'll type Abuja. Okay, and I click on check weather, Abuja, overcast, and this is it. Okay, so let's look at Lagos. Now, if I check Lagos, okay, scattered clouds and things like that. So this is working. So you can literally check. It has access to, I think, around 16,000 cities or 96,000 cities. I'm not pretty sure. Okay, so that's it. And let's say I did not put anything. I say check weather. It says, oops, the requested information is not available. Okay, so before the error used to be thrown here, but we have handled it inline. Okay, so it's going to be an evolving app. Let's see how far we can go. So having seen this now, that means we need to first of all at least get this dimension. Agreed. So this is fine. So this looks like, okay, I need to reduce the width and height, right? So let's go back there and reduce the width and height. I'll minimize this guy, I'll come back here. Now, if I go here now, I say, okay, fine. Maybe width, I can make it 500, maybe 600. Okay, and then I'll say height should be like 500. Okay. Control Shift F10. Now let's compare both this and that. Okay, fine. So I think yes, this is 600 and 500. This is done. So we've taken care of these guys. Okay. So next we need to do now is we need to actually take what the background image. Okay. So we need the background image before we start putting these buttons. Okay. Okay. So for that I'm going to say okay, fine. And if you look here carefully, guys, what can you make out of this? Look here. So this is kind of an entry text box, right? This is a button. And this is also another text box, right? Fine. So you can literally say, okay, fine, there are two rows here, 1 and 2. If you remember when we built that, what's it called, text editor, right? So yes, we had the buttons kept here, and this was it, okay? And some padding, you can see here, some padding is being applied here, right? So there is nothing for now until we start checking some stuff. So because of that now, we know we needed an image, so I'm going to remove the color then. Agreed? So this background color I don't need, I'll remove it. Just to ensure everything is working. So for now, let it be plain only, okay? So if I need a background image, then I need to look at something, okay? So for that, I'm going to say, okay, fine. I need to say, okay, fine. This is done, okay? Till here is fine. I need to get my background image. So I'll call it bg image underscore image, okay? So this underscore bg underscore image, let's see another method, okay, to add the background, right? So you can ask Google, what is the method to add this background image, okay? You say add background image. See, even in Flutter, even in HTML, whatever, background image in tkinter, okay? tkinter, okay, in Python tkinter, fine. So you see, set background image, add background image, how to use this background image in this and things like that, okay? So we need a method called what? PhotoImage, okay? So you see here, the PhotoImage class is used, which is present in the tkinter package, fine? So if I imported this, we created the root and we set the geometry. This time they are using that, but we are not using that because we're using what? Canvas. And we now see this and things like that. So where is the image now, guys? So we have kept some, see here, photo that, okay, your image.png. Now, did you notice something here, guys? Extension name has to be in PNG, but we will see. Nobody is telling us whether it has to be in PNG. They said add your file. So we are going to experiment on both of them and we justify whether it's going to be in that. Fine. So we now say, okay, dot what? It's called what? Photo, PH. You can see it there, photo image. Now, it takes some arguments. What is it going to take? It's going to take what now? The image path, right? So if you see how this was added here, we says we use an argument, right? File equal. Okay, fine. So we have to call it that. We say file, excuse me, equal what now? So the image now we don't know, right? Now let's keep it here and let's go now and browse some images. So we have to populate an image here, all right? So we go back here online and we say, okay, fine. I don't need Stormy this now. What I need is weather image background. Okay, weather image or background images. Okay, background BACK background images. Okay, I'm going to take in PNG weather background images, whatever. I needed it free images. Okay, fine, images HD, fine. But if we go here, maybe we wanted this stormy weather, something like this in high density, whatever. Now this looks cool. Okay, let's look at this and say save images. Now this is in JPG. We're gonna go on the desktop. We're actually looking for weather app. Okay, so I'm gonna call it background, BACK GROUND background.jpg. Fine. Now I'm going to take two variations. Okay, so I need this and I need in PNG. Fine. Okay, so let's see this. That image background looks like something like this, or maybe something like this. Okay, so let's save this as save as. This is still JPG, guys. I needed it in PNG. Okay, so I can say whether background image PNG download. Okay, I cannot find any PNG here for now. So maybe I'm interested in that. All right, we will not waste time. Let's grab anything and we can always find a way. Okay, open this in new tab and there we go. I needed maybe there's something like this. I say save as. All right, so I'm going to change it now from this to, oh no, JPG only. So I call it bg2.png. Let's see. Okay, so I call it bg2.png. okay guys, PNG. Let's see. Window D, and then I will come to weather. I have this .png. Okay, so this is converted to PNG file. Okay guys, so fine. Now I'm interested in the first one actually. So this first one is JPG and it looks cool, right? So let's see. I'm gonna go there. I'll say okay, fine, I need to add this guy. What is that I want to add? I want to add the background, and you see both of them will appear here, guys. So background.jpg by bg2.png. Let me add background.jpg. So I'll call it BACK, and you see it there. Okay, .jpg. Control Shift F10. Once I run this now, you see here, it says here TCL error. Okay, tkinter whatever control error. Couldn't recognize data in image file. Did you see that? Background.jpg. Okay. Let me just complete this first, and then I needed to position it in a label. Okay, so I called it. Okay, okay, what is called that place. Okay, now yes, options. I need the options. Okay, so this method in tkinter, what does it do? So you see here, manager is the simplest of the three geometric manager that okay manages up whatever in tkinter. This blah blah blah. What is the example? Look here. So I need to, it's not usually a good idea to use place for ordinary windows and whatever, as long as we have seen grid, we have seen pack. So instead of me to use grid and pack, right, to display, I'm going to use place now. And place takes other arguments, right? Relative position of X, relative position of Y, and anchor, this we are going to see, okay? So anchor is like either if you say center, is going to be at the center. If you say N, is going to be for north, okay? Or you type it in full north, okay? And by default, it has to be centered, okay? So this place method can be used with grid and pack. So this is an advantage. If you've seen before, I mean, whenever we use pack method, right, and we try to use grid, we always get an error. Yes or no, guys? It will tell us that yes, you cannot use this pack sorry, you cannot use grid because the parent element or whatever is pack. Okay, so that's why, like you see here, we have set this geometry and then we wanted some stuff there. Let's go and see here, label. Okay, I'm a label and then we have placed it, because without this place whatever, the widget is not going to appear. Agreed? Fine. So let's now place this guy now. So here I just want to pass this argument. I use the relative width, so this is going to span like 100%, relative width. Okay, so relative width, if I say 1, it will be 100%, and then if I say relative height, height, I will say again 1, so this is like 100%. Okay, let's see now. This should actually appear. Okay, why this guy is not appearing? I have imported this, I've imported that. Okay, why is it not appearing there? This is fine. Okay, image, this is also done, that is fine, and the background is also there. And my canvas, where is my canvas? Okay, so yes, this is fine. All right, so you notice one thing is actually appearing, but it's actually appearing behind the canvas. Okay, so see here, the canvas, we have to draw everything on the canvas. Agreed? So I'm going to put it here now, and that's okay, fine. And this is my main loop, Control Shift F10. Okay, so you see it here, guys. Yes, so it was there actually, but it was appearing behind the canvas. It's like a background image. You got the point, guys? So now it's shifted, now is on the foreground. Now let's just watch the effect. Okay, let's watch the effect as I change this now to be like maybe like 0.8. Okay, so 80% it has to span horizontally, 80% it has to span vertically. Okay, 0.8. Now Control Shift F10. Now if you see, did you see here, guys? Now it's spanning, and if I maximize, watch, it's stretching out. Actually it's stretching out, but what I wanted to do is, let's say I now need to use this anchor. Okay, so ANCHOR. So if I say anchor equal what? Center, CEN, okay, TER. Okay, and this center is a string. Okay, so I'll say equal center array. That fellow should go inside. Okay, now Control Shift F10. Let's see what happens. Okay, now you see center must be, look here, guys, look here, center must be, this is one beautiful thing here, north, north, east, east, south, east, south, south. So these are all the words, or center. Okay, so these are all the words coordinates, what do you call it, polar whatever coordinates, right? So east, west, north and south, northeast, whatever, or it has to be center, as in small letter, right? So I was okay, fine, CENTER. Let's see this is what I wanted to do. Now if I do this now you see where it's going and staying, right? But that was not actually what I wanted, right? So I wanted now some relative position, okay, such that it will be this way, that way, that way, that way. Otherwise I try to use north, anchor equal what? North. If I say N, Control Shift F10, see where it's going and staying. So for now I'm not going to use this option. Okay, guys, agreed? And I don't want to now make it what? Span here and there. I just want it to cover the entire screen. Look at what I mean. So see, I don't want this. I want it to cover the entire screen, as in the first example. See here, if you compare both, you see this is spanning, is covering the entire thing. So why am I playing here? So I will leave it and make it what? 100%, and then that's it. So why I showed you this is for you to understand the effect of this relative width and height. No problem. So this is done. Let it be. Now let's start creating those widgets, right? So we need to, at least we can finish this today. We create all this one, that side, okay, and we position them and create this also. Okay, so for now this is it. Let's go now and then create the rest. Next, since this is done now, what we need is to start now creating what now? The frames. Agreed? So it's okay, fine. I will just call it frame for me to remember. So this frame, I am going to use the object tk.frame, fine. And obviously we know it has to go into the root. Now no need of you to give background color and stuff like that, but I needed a border, fine. So this border, I will say okay, fine, it has to be maybe like 5 pixels or something like that. Now after this is done, I'm using entry, right, guys? Fine. So sorry, I'm using this place geometry. Okay, we have seen grid, we have seen pack. Now I'm using place geometry. Agreed? This place geometry. So I was okay, fine. I can use dot grid now. Actually, let's try this dot grid. Okay, say even pack is also there. For now, I'll use dot pack. No need. I'll just leave this either I'm using place. Okay. So now I'll say okay, fine. In this, this is done. I'll say frame dot place. Fine. Where am I? How do I want to position this guy? So let's just position this frame, and then we see what we can actually do about the frame. Okay. So Control Shift F10. Okay. Now, if you see, that has appeared actually, but I think the background is kind of okay overwriting it. No problem. So the frame will be there. Now inside there, I need to put an entry in the frame, right? Fine. So that's okay, fine. And look here, guys. Instead of doing this, actually, we can use this shortcut method. Okay. So here I'll just say dot, because it's referencing the same thing, right? Frame dot place is the same thing. I say if I come here, I say frame dot. There I say dot place. No problem. Now here I'm going to pass some arguments for now. For now, I'll leave it open. Okay. I'll leave it open now. Okay, since we know about relative width and relative height, right, we can actually pass that. Okay, so we say okay, fine, relative width width is equal to what I don't know. What is it now? So we can say okay, fine, let it be some width I want it to be actually. So maybe I say like now 0.80. Fine. Okay, sorry, you shouldn't say 0.80, you have to say 0.8. And no need actually for you to specify again 0.80, you can say 0.8, and it knows that it is 80%. And we say relative height, height, okay, again has to be what? 0.8. Now, if these two holds true, what we have to do, I'm going to put, we've seen the anchor, right? Now, this I want it to be to the knot. Anchor equal what? Knot. Fine. Okay, so knot. This is fine. Now, in this now, after this is done, actually, I need to create my entry widget, right? So, okay, fine, create the entry. So, I'll call it entry only. Now, it's going to be what? tk.entry, tk.entry. Fine. So, where is it going, actually? Again, first, well, inside now, look here. It's not going to the root now, right? We want, what the first argument should be the frame, okay? Fine. Now this frame is done, and maybe I will see before that. I will see what that is. Let's just populate it, and then this is done, and then I can say dot place, right? So this places it by the side of the what widget without you specifying, like if you use in grid, without you specifying the rows and the height. Okay. So now for this I can say okay, relative width and relative height. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Okay. Now if you see, this has appeared here, right? Now you see here, guys. So it has appeared here, okay, but it is showing me some funny behavior. Agreed. So because of that, now I need to use my relative width and height and stuff like that and then superimpose it on this, okay? So remember, the background is white by default since we didn't give any background. So because of this, now I'm going to show you how the finished product was done, okay? So this still here is what I needed to do now, okay? Fine. So here, come back here. This is it, all right? So I'm going to replace here, okay? So this is fine, background image is added, so this is done, so I need to start from here. Okay. Now once I position this now we see, let's check if there's anything that is missing. Okay, so till here is fine. Import all the requests, get this app data icon. Okay, I hope I didn't override that other one. Fine. Here, 1 minute. Okay, yeah, this is fine, it's correct. So till here is fine. Okay, so we called it it's no longer called app data icon. Actually it's called background.png, right? Okay, I called it background. Okay, this is fine. App data icon is fine, is the bitmap thing, and then this is background.png. Fine. So till here is fine. So what, just added some background color to this and made the border to be 5, relative position, you got the things now, and then we wanted it to be to not. Until here is fine. So for now, there is no method for now in this case. Okay, so I don't want to do anything for now around about this button. So created a button, okay, added relative position and put this stuff and things like that, and go back to loop.main loop. Now let me run this. Fine. So if you see, okay, this has actually created this and positioned it in the respective location. However, if you see this guy, okay, let's go back here. This is first one, this is the second one, okay. So both are looking similar, but if you see here, guys, pay attention here, you see, whenever you come here, right, check whether it's same thing, check whether, but this looks like it's truncated, right, like something is hiding it, unless you drag. So I need to expand this a little bit, right? So see here, But this by default, it gets positioned, right? So I think the width and the height was little different. So we have to play with that, okay? So for now, what I do is, I'll go back here. I said, okay, fine. Let me run this again, Ctrl-Shift-F10. Look at what I mean, guys. See here, right? Some issue is there. So go back to the width and height. I think this was 650, 650, and then the height was, I think, 550. Okay, 550. Let's see if this solves that problem. Okay, good. Okay, you can see it, guys. So this is fine. Compared to this is fine. Okay, but it looks a little bigger. Okay, who cares? It looks like a little bigger here. Okay, so but no problem. I wanted this to be there. Okay, so now if you watch here, if you click on this, let's say, let me enter again, Mysore. Now if I click on this, something happens. I guess that. Now if I click on this guy, nothing happens. Okay, so nothing happens. So before we go to start checking the cities, right, let's see whether this button is gonna work. Agreed. So fine, to check the button now, we now need to find kind of do what now? Create the methods, right? So we now need to create the functions, right? Create the button click function. Button click function or button click event, whatever function. Actually, let's call it a function only. Now, so here, okay, I will call it def btn click, click. For now, let's see whether this button is working. Okay, we just say print, we are just playing, we are just kidding, kidding. Fine. Now, so what I want to do is, we are just kidding. Obviously, you guess it has to be printed on the console, right? So I'll come back here. Where do I want the event to happen? Here, agreed? This button thing, right? Fine. So inside this button, whenever I call this button, I want that to say, okay, whatever. And remember here, you can play with this font, right? I have shown you, you can say font some size. You can actually add some color. Okay, so maybe we add that font equal, maybe we say Arial, Arial. And then we wanted this to be 40. And we wanted it to be both italics. Actually, you can combine both actually. So we have seen italics. Italic actually we saw, right? So let's see whether this works. Ctrl-Shift-F10. Okay, yes, it says here button dot place that width and things like that. Okay, dot place doesn't have that. Okay, yes, I didn't close it actually, guys, so I didn't close this, right? So fine, this should work. Oh, Ctrl-Shift-F10. This is fine. Now you see, actually this is now on this guy. Okay, so it's become too much now. Agreed? So you should play with this, or maybe you reduce the size. You can actually reduce the size, Ctrl-Shift-F10. If you wanted something, check whether it's still funny, okay? So you can actually reduce it some more, maybe like 15. But I don't need that now. I'm using 10 only, okay? So I can see this, check whether. So you wanted this kind of stuff to appear, right? So you can use this. And then maybe if you want to add also background, right? You can add background. You can play with it, okay? And whatever you enter inside here also, you can also increase the stuff, okay? This is inside the label, okay? You can increase it. So for now, I want this to be like that. Okay, maybe I'll say it's 15. Fine, Ctrl-Shift-F10. This is done. No worries, check whether. No problem, fine. Now, I want, whenever I click this button, right, I want that to be called. So it's called command only, command option, right? So this command, we should call this event. What is the method? Button click. So I'll say btn click. Fine. So it's going to call this Ctrl-Shift-F10. Now, if you watch, once I click on this, you see here, we are just kidding. Okay? Okay, so was it called before this or it was called after I ran this? Ctrl-Shift-F10. Now, if I watch here, now we are just kidding appears here, right? So, but what we want is this. Let's say we enter something here. Okay, we entered something there, fine. And if I click on this also, what I'm getting, we are just kidding. That's not what I wanted to get, right? Okay, fine. So what I want to get is, let me see whether this is the behavior. 1 minute. Oh, no. No, guys, that is even before, look here, before even though, it's called even before the click of an event, right? So this is the wrong approach. So we want it to wait, right? Once an action happens, maybe I'll call it this way. 1 minute. Ctrl-Shift-F10. Now come back here. Yes. Okay. So once I click, now this is working. Okay. This is working. Remove this, what do you call it? The braces. Okay. And just click on that. It should actually appear. This has happened, but this is not what I wanted. I want whatever I type inside here, at least, see, it's still we are just kidding. Type whatever you want. Still we are just kidding. This is not what I wanted. So we are going to use what now? The get method. Agreed? So for that, we will come back and we say, okay, fine. I needed this get method, so I will say button click dot what? Oh, sorry. Control Z, button click there, dot get. Fine. Okay. So this is fine. So Control Shift F10. Let's see. Now, okay, has no attributes called that. Okay, fine. Okay, I needed this function. Okay, no need. Okay, so if this, yes, okay, this is correct actually, but in that case I needed to now use lambda expressions. Okay, so for now let me change it. Now this will not work obviously, so I need to say command equal now what? lambda. Fine. Now lambda colon what now? Button click is what is called, and then dot get. Let's see. Control Shift F10. Fine. So this is there. Now look here, guys. Once I click on this, you see has no attributes get. Okay, let me just type something and call this. Okay, fine, because I really need to use the, yeah, this is fine. Okay, dot get. Okay, so for this now I think I will just go back and just yes, I need the label. Look here. Okay, which label is actually that referring to that? Let's look here. What is the label actually that is referring to whatever the label that we are taking input from? Is called what, guys? Check properly. This is the label. Agreed? So it is the entry widget, right? So inside here, okay. So we have to now change this to what? This, once I call this button click, no problem. Inside this button get function, I really need to use what now? Is called entry, right? Yes. Okay, entry dot get. So with this, this should work. Control Shift F10. Okay, button dot place. Okay, I didn't cover this properly, is it? Here, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, and then the last one, cover it properly. Okay, so this is done. Now, so I'll type something inside here. I'll say hello. Okay, and then once I call this, okay, 2 takes 0 position arguments, but 1 was given. Exactly. So you come back here, look here, guys. So I need to now say, okay, fine, we are just kidding. Yes, definitely, for sure, I need to pass and this entry into it. Okay, so what is it that I want to get actually is the widget, the label, the widget name, right? So it's called entry. And in this case now, it's okay, fine, this is it. I'll say, okay, comma, right, entry. Okay. This should solve the problem. Now, if I press Control Shift F10 and go back there, I'll say hello, something like that. It's going to say, okay, yeah, fine. Okay, so this is there. Can you see it? We are just kidding. Hello. So this works. Fine. So whatever I type inside here gets printed there. Okay. But we will tell you how to print it in this now, what in this text box. So for now, this is what I wanted. I'll say, how are you? So if I'm going to say, how are you? Okay, now question mark is going to check, print hello, how are you? So this is working. We are just kidding, how are you? Or just say hello, how are you here? No problem. So this works. We have handled it. We're able to take that and we're able to print the stuff to the console. Now what we need to do is, let's say for now, we are not interested in this, right? We are interested in printing what? The web data, at least, to the console, before we now go and print it to the user. So this is where we are, okay? If I say, we are just kidding, how are you? But if you check the other one, the finished product, okay? We are actually saying, say, I think I removed the background, is it? Sorry, where is the finished product? Here or there? Here, I think here, okay? So Control Shift F10, yeah, okay? So I say my sir. So here I'm getting something, right? Okay, before we print this, let's go and understand at least, let's print it first to the console to know that everything is working. So till here is fine. Okay, I minimize this guy. Till here is fine. Now we now need to say, okay, fine, I need to now start getting the weather details. Okay, so for that I can say, okay, fine, I really needed this. Okay, let's print this to the whatever now. So that was called label, actually. 1 minute. It was called okay, label. Okay, before that, this is done. Now I need to now get the web data, the app data. Okay, or the web app data. So where do I get the web data now? So if I ask this guy, he's going to tell me, fine, how to get weather API. Fine. So it's called weather API, right? Now you see, once you type that, it will redirect you to what? Weather API. Open weather API dot whatever, come. Now I have, see, you see here, I've already signed in. Okay, guys. So I'm going to log out to mimic how it's going to look like for most of you. Okay. So for now, I will log out. Okay. Now, for you, you are going to see an interface, okay, which says, I think I will rename this. So which not be sign in. Okay, guys, it won't be sign in. So let's create a dummy account now. So I have this email already existing. Let me say another one, victor.agughasi@gmail. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to fake, that is my, what was the first one actually? Enter email. What was the first one? I think the first one was name. Yeah, username, sorry. Okay, so the first one, I'm going to use maybe something like that. Victory AGU. So the next one is the email. I paste this email. Now password, I want you to use that. No, but I don't even know what that password is. So I'm going to use some password. Don't guess the password, okay? Yeah, better, it's hidden. Okay. So that is it. And then I go here, I repeat. Okay, so I am 16 years older, and then I agree with this policy. Maybe some stuff you have to do. Okay, this is actually not necessary, but I need this actually. API usage alert and some stuff. Okay. Corporate identity that I'm not a robot. Okay. Now create an account. Now it should actually, yeah, I will save this because I don't even know what the password is. Now, if you say it comes to company, you can say you're a student. Okay, guys. So it doesn't matter. Choose owner. You're using it for education or science. Now save. Now remember why we are here, guys. Why are we here? We are here because we need to replicate something like this. In the first case, I'm able to get some stuff. Okay, we have finished creating the GUI. We have added some stuff. If you click on this, it's printing something to the console. But for now, let that stuff is printed to the console. Let's just get that before we now start printing it to this. And that will be the last stage. Okay. So because of that, we need what we call the what? The weather API. Just like some libraries that will enable us to fetch this data in real time. And we have to keep updating it. It shouldn't be some dummy variables which we have to, or some dummy data which we have to take in JSON file or something and just keep. Fine. Because of that, now we've come here. So if you see, they said I've sent you email to this, please confirm your email. Okay. What I'm interested is, you can feel free to look at this historical weather for any location. Now, he says our new technology, the time machine, has allowed us to enhance the data in the historical data collection. And you can get historical data available for any coordinate, right? The depth of this historical data has been extended to 40 years. You can download the best of whatever context for more. Now, you can get even the agro API also. You can get now updated weather maps also you can actually get. Now, we need this API tab. You come to the API tab, okay, guys? Now, you see current weather data. Access to this, and look, sorry, over 200,000 cities. I said 16,000. I was even wrong. 200,000 cities. We collect and process the data for different this and whatever. And now, we make this data available in JavaScript object notation, in XML file, extensible markup language format, and even in hypertext markup language formats also. This is included in both free and paid subscriptions. Now, if you look at this, what interests us is our subscription plan. Okay. Now I will click on this subscription plan you see here. Once I come to this, you see on the free plan, I am able to get the what? API key, and this is what I need. This API key will allow me to get the current weather. So let me click on this current weather. Okay. So it will allow me to get the current weather by making this call, right? I have to go to this api.weathermap or something like that, or api.weathermap.org/data/2.5/weather. Look at the stuff I need to do, and I'll query it. For most of you that are doing servlets class, you must have understood that fine, this is how we pass the parameter as a string. But now I'm going to take this now, okay? So look at where I need actually. When I make this call, I need to come here, okay? So this is what I need. But before that, I need my what now? My API, my unique key. So even if you copy it, it doesn't matter. I'm going to change it. Now, get API key, okay? So once I come here, I need to click on API keys now. This is my unique key. Don't steal that. Fine. So I will copy this now. Once this is copied, I really need this key. Agreed, guys? So I'll come here. Let me go there. Here, I'll just paste some stuff. I'll call it, maybe call it weather key or something like that. Okay, it has to be inside this. I'll call it weather underscore key. Okay, so it's going to be equal to a string, right? Paste it. Fine. Now, what do I need now? I need another thing, right? The URL, right? So weather URL, you can call it URL or something like that, and it's okay, fine. Go back there. And where is the URL, guys? Do you remember? This is what I need, right? Till here. Fine. And it says either you pass a single city, right? Or you can just, you take it from the label, okay? So this is fine. I'll copy it till here. Fine. Copy this guy. Now I will get back there. I will paste this. Okay. So this is my URL. Fine. So if this is done, okay, I now need to say fine, get maybe like I need to take this stuff actually is serves us in what? JSON file, right? That is what we are interested in. Agreed, right? So it is in JSON file. You can see it from here, guys. It says, let me show you the pattern actually. Here, look at it here. Look at it here, guys. So this is it. Example of the JSON API response. So it's like this. You get the coordinates, fine. You get the coordinates. Coordinate is a dictionary. Think of it as a multi-dimensional dictionary, okay, or a 2D dictionary, or think of it as similar to a dictionary only. This is the key. What are the values? Longitude and latitude. Inside here, longitude was the value of longitude 122, but it was the value of latitude 37.38, right? So coordinates, fine. Whether you can get ID main. This is clear and some stuff. This is that and this is that. Okay. So this is how the response is passed in JSON file. So if I want it in XML file, see how it is in XML file. Okay. Now, if I want it in HTML file, this is how it is in. This is it in. Okay, this is again kind of like my XML file, JSON file only. So the basic, the two ways in which you can get it is in my what? XML and what? JSON. So I wanted this in JSON. So I'm going to create reference objects to that, and we should wind up on that note. Okay. So I'll come back here. I said, okay, fine. Till here is fine. Okay. Now I need those parameters. Okay. So what I needed was I called them parameters. Fine. Now in this, I need to take a dictionary of what now? I need app ID. Okay. So that is my API ID. Okay. So I called it my API ID. Fine. In that, I needed to take what exactly? I need this weather key. Okay. So weather key. Fine. And next, what I needed was kind of what? The city, right? Look at what I'm trying to explain. I think you've seen that. Okay. So when you query this, you need this. Okay. Yeah, see here, you need this. Here, it was actually the city. Look here. You can take the zip code, you take the country code, you take the API key lastly. Okay. Or you can do this. This was what we saw initially. All right. So you take the API key, and in between, you can pass here example. Query string is London, right? UK, look here, query key is London, UK, okay? Now, the API ID is my key, fine? And the city is actually, you can actually take that city also, okay? Fine. Now, two things we need to remember, okay? You can look at this temperature. One is called the Imperial, another one is called the Celsius, I think, temperatures. Let me show you this Imperial, because this is going to play an important role now, Imperial units. It's called units actually of measurement versus metric, exactly. So two are there, Imperial units versus metric, right? So the metric system is this system based on powers of 10. So the Imperial system is based on inch, foot, and yard. So what is the metric system? Metric is I think, what's it called? What's the difference between metric and imperial unit? So metric is what we are used to, right? We say meters, kg, and whatever, right? So the imperial is inches, foot, inches, and whatever pounds. So the imperial system is used exactly. Feet is what? Meters. I mean, yeah, inches, I think meters, and then pounds is kg. So we are using the what? Metric, and they are using the imperial. So let's use metric for now, okay? And that means that I need the query string, okay? So this query string will hold what? The city, fine, CITY. And then the other one should hold my what? What is it? It's going to hold my imperial system, or sorry, metric system of measurements, right? So I will say, okay, this is units is going to be what now? Units of measurement is going to be metric only. Agreed? Fine. I will say it is metric. Done. That means that if instead of me to report the temperature, if you look here, this temperature is reported in the imperial system. But look here. So it's reported in Fahrenheit. I want to report it in degrees Celsius. Okay. So what I will do, I will do that here, and then I will get back to this. So if you see, I needed to capture this city, right? Because whether a key is also there, no worries. Fine. Fine. This is there. Now I need my city, and I need my metric system of measurement. Fine. So on that note, before I stop, I'm going to comment this out, fine, and then I'm going to change this button now to make some more sense. And instead of entry, I need it to take what now? City as a parameter, okay? So city as a parameter. So this is taken care of. And in this case, I don't want to call it what? Button check, right? So I can call it what? Something meaningful. Call it what? Get weather, okay? So get weather is what I needed. So when I click on that, it should pull the weather. Okay. Now I have passed this weather key inside there. Fine. I have passed the URL, and I have passed those parameters. Okay. So this parameters is done. So I needed this response now. Okay. So the response has to be in form of something. So I say when I take this response object, remember I want it to be in form of JSON file, right? I say response.json, JSON. Fine. Now, this I needed to store it in a place called maybe like in a variable, okay, a variable called response. So I can reference this later, okay. So this is done, and we will stop here because tomorrow we will continue on this, okay, and finally get to the last thing, okay. So what is the end product? The end product is just this much. Instead of me to do this, I'll type a city name, say like myself. Okay. And this is going to return some stuff to me. It's going to return this much to me. Okay. Something which I have seen here is going to return city, conditions, and temperature. And this temperature is in Fahrenheit. I want whatever I'm going to do tomorrow to return it in what? Centigrade. Fine. So that is it. So let's get back to what we recap. Well, let's kind of do review what we did today. So we've seen how we actually give us a blank screen. 1 minute. So we've seen how we use this tkinter canvas. Agreed. This is done. And we've seen how we are able to kind of come up with that responsive design. I drag, drop, resize is working. And we've seen how we actually customize this background using the what? PhotoImage method or function. And then we've seen how we use the what? APIs, okay? The weather API to get my what? The keys, right? Fine. Now, after getting this key, we are on this stuff, building this application, okay? So we will continue tomorrow, and yes, see you, and take care. Any questions, guys? All right, so in the absence of any question, I will wind up now, and we meet again same time tomorrow. Have a nice evening. Bye for now.